Most people over 65 are told the same thing. Just take a good multivitamin. It cannot hurt. It sounds sensible. It sounds harmless. But here is what nobody tells you. Taking a supplement you do not need is not harmless, and it is certainly not free. Most adults over 65 take at least one supplement, and many take 4 or more, often with no test behind a single one. The industry built on that habit is worth tens of billions, and a great deal of that money is spent guessing. Today, I am going to give you 5 supplements you should test before you buy, and the one blood test that matters more than all the rest. It is cheap, it is standard, and it could save you money and protect you at the same time. The number 1 test on this list is one almost nobody asks for, and it decides the correct dose of the supplement you are most likely already taking. Stay with me until the end, because that one can change what is sitting on your shelf for the next 10 years. Think about your last appointment. You had about 12 minutes. Your doctor looked at your blood pressure, glanced at your prescriptions, and moved on. There is almost never time to ask what is in your supplement drawer, or whether you actually need any of it. So the bottles pile up, one recommendation and one worry at a time, and nobody ever checks a number. A friend suggests one, a magazine praises another, and the shelf slowly fills. I am not here to sell you a supplement, and I am not here to sell you a test either. This channel exists to give you the science a 12-minute appointment never has time to cover. Most of the tests I will name cost very little, and many are already free under your care. The point is simply to aim instead of guess, because a supplement is not harmless insurance. It is a low-dose medicine, and taking a medicine for a problem you do not have can cost you money at best, and your health at worst. Some of the most popular supplements are actively risky when you do not need them. So before we start, tell me 2 things in the comments: your age and how many supplements you take every single day. Here's the one idea that unlocks all 5 tests. Your body is a system in balance, and more of a good thing is not automatically better. A supplement only helps if you are actually low, and a blood test is the only way to know if you are. Without it, you are pouring things in blind. Picture the dashboard of a car. You do not pour in oil, coolant, and brake fluid at random, hoping one of them was low. You check the gauges first, then top up only what the needle says is down. A blood test is that dashboard for your body. Pour in what is already full, and it does not help. It overflows and does damage. Please do not skip this section. It is the key to everything that follows. If this is already making sense to you, tap the like button so more seniors can find it. It is the only thing I will ask of you until the very end. The 5th test to get before you buy is a magnesium level, before you reach for another magnesium supplement. Magnesium is one of the most popular supplements over 65 taken for cramps, sleep, and constipation. Here is why you should test first. Magnesium is real and useful, but your body keeps it in a fairly tight range, and most healthy people are not truly low. If you are not low, extra magnesium mostly gives you loose bowels and does very little else. And if your kidneys are weak, magnesium can build up to genuinely dangerous levels. A simple test tells you which camp you are in instead of guessing in the dark. Careful reviews have found that magnesium supplements help most in people who are actually deficient. In those who are not, the benefit largely disappears. So here is what to ask for. Ask your doctor for a serum magnesium level, a cheap and standard blood test. Ask for it alongside a kidney function test, because the 2 together tell you both your level and whether magnesium is even safe for you. If your level is genuinely low, then a supplement makes sense, often around 200 to 400 milligrams a day. The cheaper forms like magnesium oxide are poorly absorbed, so a citrate or glycinate is gentler and better used. The mistake people make is buying the biggest bottle they can find and taking it for years with no number behind it. If you take a heart or blood pressure medicine or a water pill, tell your doctor before adding magnesium because it can interact. If you have kidney disease, do not take magnesium at all without medical advice because your kidneys are what clear it. If it loosens your bowels too much, that is a plain sign the dose is too high. And never take it to treat cramps that are new or severe without getting them properly checked. Pair the magnesium test with an honest look at your diet first. Nuts, seeds, beans, and leafy greens are loaded with magnesium, and food almost never overdoses you. Test, then food, then a supplement only if the number says so. And keep the number 1 test in mind as we go, the vitamin D level, because it is the one that fixes the supplement you are most likely already taking wrong. But magnesium is a mild mild example, and at least too much of it simply runs through you. Our next supplement is far less forgiving, one people take for years without testing. Taking it when you do not need it can quietly do you harm. The fourth test is a B12 level before you keep buying B12 or the energy supplements built around it. After 65, your body absorbs B12 poorly, so being low is genuinely common. Here is why the test matters even here. Some people truly are low and need it, but many buy B12 for a tiredness they blame on it, when the real problem is something else entirely. Energy is the symptom everyone reaches a supplement for, and the one least likely to have a single cause. A test tells you if B12 is actually your issue, so you do not spend a year on the wrong bottle while the true cause hides. And a low result is a clue to hunt down the cause, not merely to cover it. This is well established. Low B12 is common after 65, but so is tiredness from a dozen other causes, and only a test can tell them apart. So here is what to ask for. Ask for a serum B12 level, and if it comes back low or borderline, a more sensitive test called MMA. If your level is low, a daily tablet of 1,000 micrograms under the tongue is the usual fix. Retest in about 3 months to be sure it is actually working. Because poor absorption is the real problem after 65, the under-the-tongue form matters more than the number on the bottle. The mistake people make is treating tiredness with a random supplement and never once checking whether it moved the needle. If you take metformin or a daily acid-reducing pill, you are more likely to be low, so this test is especially worth it for you. Never stop those medicines on your own. If your level is very low or you have numbness or balance trouble, see your doctor rather than self-treating. And do not assume a normal result rules everything out if your symptoms carry on. Pair the B12 test with the same blood draw as the others, because most of these can be done from one arm, one visit, one small vial. There is no reason on earth to be stuck for needles 5 separate times. Ask for them together. But B12 is water-soluble and forgiving, and you cannot really overdose on it. It forgives a wrong guess in a way the next one never will. Our next supplement is one where guessing wrong is far more dangerous, and the test that prevents it is one of the cheapest in all of medicine. The third test is a ferritin level, before you ever take an iron supplement. Ferritin is the blood test that measures how much iron your body has in store. Here is why this one is so important. Iron is the one supplement where taking it when you do not need it can genuinely harm you, because your body has no easy way to get rid of extra iron, and it builds up in your organs. So iron should never, ever be a guess. Over years, that stored iron can quietly damage the liver, the heart, and the joints. And if you are low, the low iron itself is a message, because in an older adult, it can be an early sign of slow bleeding that needs finding. This is settled medicine. Doctors test ferritin before treating iron, precisely because both too little and too much cause real damage. So here is what to ask for. Ask for a ferritin level, ideally with a full blood count, both cheap and completely standard. If your ferritin is low, you take iron, but you also ask your doctor why it is low in the first place. If it is normal or high, you do not take iron at all, no matter how tired you happen to feel. How much you need depends on how low you are. So the number sets the dose, not the label. The mistake people make is buying iron for fatigue, which is one of the most common and most dangerous supplement guesses of all. If your ferritin is low, let your doctor look for the cause before you simply top it up, because the cause matters more than the number. If iron upsets your stomach, taking it every other day works nearly as well and is gentler. Keep iron tablets far away from any children, because they are a leading cause of child poisoning. And never take iron alongside your thyroid or certain other pills, because it blocks them. Pair the ferritin test with that full blood count in the same draw, because together they tell a far fuller story than either one alone. One tells you your stores, the other tells you the effect. Ask for both at once. Remember, the champion is still coming, the single test that sets the dose of the vitamin most of you already take. Everything so far has been building toward it. But these first 3 are about single nutrients, one shelf at a time. Our next test is bigger. It decides whether almost any supplement is safe for you at all. The second test is your kidney function, a number called eGFR, before you take almost any supplement at all. It comes from a simple blood test and tells you how well your kidneys are filtering. Here's why it sits so high. Your kidneys are the drain that clears the excess of everything you swallow, and after 65, that drain often runs slower than you think. When it does, minerals like potassium and magnesium and high doses of many vitamins can build up instead of clearing out. So your kidney number quietly decides which supplements are safe for you and which are a real risk. It is the gatekeeper for the entire shelf. This is well established. Reduced kidney function is common with age and often completely silent, which is exactly why it has to be measured and never assumed. So here is what to ask for. Ask for a kidney function test, the eGFR, which usually comes as part of a standard metabolic panel. A number above 90 is generally healthy, and a number below 60 deserves a real conversation before you add anything. If your kidneys are less than perfect, potassium, magnesium, and certain herbal supplements move from harmless to hazardous. If your number sits somewhere in between, ask how often it should be rechecked, because it can drift lower over the years. The mistake people make is loading up on minerals and herbs with no idea their kidneys can no longer keep up. Never stop a prescribed medicine over a kidney result on your own, because that decision belongs with your doctor. If your number is low, take your full list of supplements and pills to your doctor and go through everyone. Herbal and traditional remedies count here too, so include them. And drink enough water day to day, because dehydration alone can make the number look worse than it really is. Pair your kidney test with a written list of everything you swallow, including the supplements you assume are harmless. A doctor can only judge what they can actually see. Bring the bottles if it is easier. But even with healthy kidneys, there is one supplement almost everyone over 65 is taking or thinking of taking at the wrong dose. This last one is the reason the whole video exists. And the only way to get that dose right is the number one test on this entire list. The number one test is a vitamin D level before you buy another bottle of vitamin D or another multivitamin. It is the single most useful supplement test you can get after 65. Here is why it sits at the very top. Vitamin D is the supplement most people over 65 are already taking, and almost none of them know their actual level. After 65, your skin makes far less vitamin D from sunlight, so being deficient is genuinely common, and it matters for your bones, your muscles, and your balance. But here is the catch that makes testing essential. The right dose depends entirely on your number, and both too little and too much cause harm. Too little weakens your bones and your legs, and raises your risk of a fall. Too much, taken over months, can push your calcium up and strain your kidneys. Guessing the dose is like topping up a tank with no gauge, and this is a tank where both empty and overfull are dangerous. This is well established across geriatric medicine. Vitamin D deficiency is common in older adults and clearly linked to weaker bones and more falls. And the correct treatment dose depends on how low you actually are to begin with. So here is what to ask for, and it is the fullest plan on this list. Ask your doctor for a 25-hydroxyvitamin D test, which is the standard blood test for your true level. A level below about 20 is a clear deficiency, and a level between 20 and 30 is often called insufficient. If you are low, most people are corrected with somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000 units a day, but your doctor sets the exact dose from your number. Take it with your largest meal, because vitamin D needs a little fat to absorb properly. Then retest in about 3 months to check that you have reached a healthy level and not overshot it. Have the test at the end of winter if you can, when your level sits at its lowest. If you are housebound or rarely get out in the sun, assume you are more likely low, and the test matters even more. Do not take a huge dose to catch up faster, because that is exactly how people overshoot into harm. The mistake almost everyone makes is buying a random high dose off the shelf, sometimes 10,000 units, and taking it forever with no test at either end. If you already take a prescribed vitamin D, do not change it based on this video, but do ask what your last level actually was. If you take a water pill or a heart medicine, or you have ever had kidney stones, tell your doctor before starting vitamin D, because it raises your calcium. If you carry extra weight, you may need a somewhat higher dose to reach the same level. So let the retest guide you. If swallowing capsules is hard, vitamin D comes as drops and sprays that work just as well. Keep it well away from any high-dose calcium unless your doctor has checked both. And never take the very high doses sold online without a level and a doctor guiding it. Pair your vitamin D test with a calcium level and the kidney test from a moment ago, because the three of them are really one story. They can all come from a single blood draw in one visit. Ask for the set together and you will know more about your true needs than any supplement label could ever tell you. 3 numbers from one needle beats a whole shelf of guesses. So here is the payoff I promised you at the very start. Before you spend another pound or dollar on a supplement, one cheap blood test can tell you exactly what you are low in, what you are not, and what is safe for you. This was never about taking more, or even about taking less. It was about finally knowing your numbers so that every choice after that is aimed and not guessed. Consider a typical case of the kind documented in the general practice literature. A 70-year-old woman who took 7 different supplements every morning, spending a small fortune, and still felt tired and achy. She had never once had a single one of them tested. She was convinced that if she just found the right combination, she would finally feel well. Her doctor agreed to run a simple panel first: vitamin D, ferritin, B12, and kidney function, all from one blood draw. The results were genuinely revealing. Her vitamin D was truly low, her iron stores were completely normal, and her kidney function was mildly reduced. And her doctor flagged that the magnesium she had been taking was risky for those weaker kidneys. She stopped the iron and 2 others she plainly did not need, and started the correct dose of vitamin D for her level. Within 2 months, her aches had eased and her energy had lifted, on fewer pills, not more. She was spending less money and taking on less risk. Her mildly weak kidneys were now being watched instead of quietly overloaded. And she had swapped a cupboard full of guesses for 4 numbers she actually understood. So here is exactly what to do. And there are only 5 steps. You can start with a single phone call to your doctor's office. Step 1. Before your next appointment, write down every supplement and pill you take, including the herbal ones. Then put the actual bottles in a single bag to bring with you. Step 2. Ask your doctor for 4 tests from a single blood draw: vitamin D, ferritin, B12, and kidney function. That is 1 needle, not 4 separate visits. Step 3. Add a magnesium and a calcium level. 2 more from the same draw if you take those. Step 4. When the results come back, ask 1 question of each supplement. Does my number actually say I need this? Stop the ones that fail the question. Step 5. For anything you truly are low in, take the exact dose your number calls for and retest in about 3 months. Think of someone in your life whose bathroom shelf is crowded with supplement bottles, who spends a fortune and still does not feel well. They may not need more bottles, and they may not even need most of the ones they already have. They may just need 4 numbers, and this video could be the nudge that finally gets them. Tell me in the comments how many supplements you take every day and whether a single one has ever been tested. Your answers decide exactly what I cover next. And if you want the science that a 12-minute appointment never has room for, subscribe to this channel. That is the entire reason it exists. This video is education, not a diagnosis. Your own doctor knows your history, so bring this list to your next appointment. I'm Bennett Thorne. Don't forget to subscribe and live longer.